Hey, how's it going? Josh here from Books by Josh, and this is episode number 90 of the Books by Josh Audio Immersion. This episode is titled Josh versus AI. Last episode, on episode 89, I talked about my use of AI. So I plan on elaborating on it because it's the easiest topic to come up with after the episode. So let's dive in. What AI am I using? ChatGPT Plus, Grok Plus, or Pro, whatever the paid one is, and Gemini 3 Pro, along with perchance.org. Perchance.org is completely free. You go on it, you could do text to image generator, stories, RPGs, text space, things like that's fun. So why am I using it? Why not? It's a tool. And you might think to yourself, but Josh, you're creative. Are you just pumping out AI content? No. I'm using AI to assist me with my writing. If you're creative or if you're a college student, you probably know about Grammarly, which checks your grammar. Hey, they have AI. So whether you want to use that, I do use Grammarly, by the way. That's why I mentioned it. When you want to use that, when the internet came out, if you didn't use the internet, you had to go to a library, get research, or have encyclopedias at home that weren't updated. So the internet was a tool that we learned to adopt. So it's the same with AI, in my honest opinion, because guess what? I can Google certain things, and then I have to go through certain pages to find what I'm looking for. With AI, it basically does that for me faster than I can. Prime example, I was looking for a replacement band for one of my watches, a vintage watch, and I had to go on eBay, do this and that. I had to find the model number of the exact band. It was a lot of work. So I said, you know what? Let me go on GPT, type in, hey, I need a replacement band for my 3850.30 Omega. And it gave me links to listings. It gave me the exact amount for the current listings, a price range, things like that. And I also went into the Omega store to ask, and GPT was right with the pricing, which was nice. It also lets you compare. Prime example, this is not related to creativity yet, by the way. I wanted to compare two funds, two ETF funds, and it broke down everything there. Once again, I could have personally did that, and I would have to go to a site, type it in, and go in manually to my brokerage if I want to see certain things. But GPT broke it down, and then I can add another fund to have it compare everything, have it put in a graph, hypothetical over the last 10 years, how it would grow, things like that. It makes it easier. My friend loves the new Google Gemini 3 updates because it helps him with his code. We are leveraging the tools that we have to work better. And when I talk to people and they ask me, hey, why are you using it? I tell them, listen, it has the buzzwords that people are searching for. It has the buzzwords for resumes. You think these recruiters are going through thousands of resumes an hour? No. They're using AI to filter and look for certain things. So AI is being used by them. Why not use it for ourselves? So now let's go back a step. Why am I using it as a creator? Because my grammar sucks. No, seriously. So with GPT, Grok, and all of this, I put in my work, just paragraphs, just to see if I'm staying in the same tone. I most of the time, and make sure it flows. Ask it about it. Hey, what do you think about this piece of writing? GPT does have other bots inside, or GPTs as they call them. That's one for writing, one's called Monday if you want somebody that's sassy. That's basically the whole thing. But it can actually look at your writing and help you improve your writing. Because we're always learning, we're always improving. A main thing that I do is dialogue. I don't put my personal dialogue in there. What I do is I actually run scenarios in there, not related to my writings, but just to see how we'll respond with two people in a certain situation based on the events that I provide. And guess what? I get to see the three different AIs, how they would actually work it, and it helps me think, hey, So AI would do it this way. So let me incorporate what I just read and figure out how I can make my conversation kind of flow like that. As I mentioned, for my novel, none of that is AI written, that's all from the noggin. But with AIs, they're still newer. And with the AI, you do find certain tendencies based on certain prompts. If you're rerunning prompts 2 or 3, and even perchance the free one that I mentioned, you'll see, hey, it might go a certain route. Especially if you're doing like an interactive scene, you'll notice that, hey, they're leaning towards this naming scheme, leaning towards that. Another thing I notice is that sometimes it messes up on references that you mentioned before. It's AI, hey, listen, sometimes forget things when I'm reading something too, and I have to go back. So that's another thing. But as it's evolving, I feel like it will help creatives in the future. Some, of course, artists that draw stuff like that is taking away work from them. And shamefully, I have to admit, for the two short, shorter works I put out, I did use AI for the cover. Why? Because these were shorter books. What, the poetry book has, what, 11 poems in it? I could commission an author for, what, $100 for a nice cover art, but this is something I just want to put out. And honestly, Amazon's the only one that asks, hey, did you use AI for the cover? Yes, or did you use AI to write it? Because if you put yes, it asks AI inspired, edits, things like that. When I published on Draft to Digital, that publishes on Kobo, on Nook, all of the libraries stuff, it doesn't ask that. Google Play Books doesn't ask that. iTunes doesn't ask that. It's just Amazon because people are putting out what, like a book a day using AI? Heck, you can go and in AI and just ask the best-selling AI books, and they give you a list that tells you what's the best-selling AI books, like self-help, how to use ChatGPT, niche health advice, and those books can honestly probably sell. And as you can see, I haven't put out any of that because I know nothing about that, and that's just letting AI write a book. And I did a test, by the way, just so you know, with ChatGPT. I gave it a prompt and said, hey, write me this book. Completely written by ChatGPT. I just gave it the premise of the book. I gave it what I wanted the book to be about, and it wrote it. It took about a month and a half, 2 months. So it's technically faster than me, and it was 33,000 words. It flows, but the pacing isn't there. What do I mean by that? So there are time skips. When I write a book, I like it being like episode 24. Just happens, you know? I haven't read a book that happens over the course of months, years, but everything just happens in the span, let's say a few days, a week, a month. I'm taking you through that journey, beginning, middle, and end. Whereas this scenario happens. Okay, it's been a few weeks since this happens. It's like, it's not seamless. Like, I understand that there's time skips in certain books, but it has to be more seamless. With it, it feels kind of forced. Some of the conversation doesn't sound natural. And I don't know if you guys listen to old episodes when I do conversations. Sometimes I just talk out loud to myself. It sounds bad, but just to see how the conversation sounds aloud, hey, you can also do text to speech to hear how something sounds. I've done that because you have to hear it, because on paper and hearing it are two different things. Because I'm the one writing it. To me, it might sound natural while I'm writing it, but when I hear, I'm like, wait, why does it sound like that? They would never say that. So it's just these tools. So maybe in a couple months, when they keep adding more and more features, they'll probably fix certain things. I also see a lot of dashes, stuff like that in some of the writing. So with the writing GPT, there's like no more dashes. So it's like they knew it's a thing. But it's a tool, just as I mentioned earlier with the internet. It's a tool we're gonna have to one day end up using. If you think about it, if you have a phone with the newer software, newer processors, if you're on iPhone, or most of the Samsungs now, the new ones, if you have it set to filter your calls, to give you live transcriptions, ask the person their name, stuff like that, all that's AI without you noticing it. It's features that you will never notice unless you research it and say, hey, oh wow, that's AI. And guess what? You say, hey, but Josh, Apple promised the world with Apple AI. I understand. I never bought that. Hey, you can just ask it. Show me pictures of my trip to Italy with Grandma Betty. No, I don't even keep geolocations on for most of my photos. It sounds nice to like the mainstream, but for me, AI is a tool to do research. Like I said, I could compare, for example, watches. Tudor Ranger versus the Rolex Explorer 1. What's the difference? Or MS Master 3S versus 4. The reason I say these is because it's right in front of me right now for ChatGPT from earlier searches. And that's what's great about it. It's a tool that can do that. For coding, like I said, my friend is loving it. It's helping him code certain things. He's working on a couple things in the pipeline. For me, it's just assisting me with my writing, getting me creating again. Because guess what? When I'm there on the train, I have some service, I'm just typing in things and seeing how it goes. Of course, I'm listening to music, but guess what? Why not do both? And that's how I've been implementing AI in my workspace. And guess what? I found out that GPT works with Notion, which I switched to for my notes. So it's a win-win. But that's basically it for this episode of the Books by Josh Audio Immersion. If you liked it, thank you. If you didn't, maybe the next episode or one of my backlog will be for you. If you want support me in any way, feel free to listen to Mango with Josh or Tech with Josh, TEK with Josh. The CH was taken. And feel free to take a look at my books. You have Private Eye, or you have Still Here Somehow. The finance book, if you want, just click my name wherever ebooks are sold and you find it. Or if you want to read my written work, that's not a book, that's completely free, booksbyjosh.com. But that's it for this episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.